Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charleston, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, and entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys that we definitely want you guys to stick around for. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So today we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers. We haven't talked about this team in quite some time. Now, what happened? As y'all know, the Lakers have been in this tight race to try to make it into the playoffs, right? And based on the things that they've been saying over the last few weeks now, it seems like the Lakers are not only trying to make it into the play-in, they're actually trying to avoid the play-in altogether and make it to the number 6 seed. I think most people would agree that the team has gotten better since all of those post the trade deadline with all of the various moves that they were able to make. And they got better shooting. They improved their defense, especially on the perimeter. They got very, very athletic, and they got a lot of complementary pieces to work with what they already have, like with players like D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and others to go with guys like Rui Hachimura, who also they added, and Dennis Schroeder and Austin Reeves and Anthony Davis, and of course LeBron James. But yesterday, they were playing against the New York Knicks, a team that had just recently played against the Clippers, the team I'm supporting, and they played the Clippers pretty well. And it was a very, very entertaining game for me to watch because they actually played defense in that game. I'm talking about the Knicks versus the Clippers game. They actually played defense. So I was like, oh my God, okay, they're actually guarding the ball here. So to me, I thought it was a very, very entertaining game. But the Knicks, a Tom Thibodeau coach team, you know that they're going to play hard. They're going to play a lot of defense, and they're going to make the game. They're going to make it a physical affair. When you have, bulldozers like Julius Randle and others, it's going to be a tough night for anyone. And in that game, Julius Randle actually had a very, very tough shooting night, and he was showing his frustration all throughout the game on the court, right? He was very, very frustrated all throughout that game. So they lost that game to the Clippers, and it was their time now to play the Lakers. Now, going into that game, if I'm not mistaken, the Lakers were the number 9 seed in the West, tied with the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Dallas Mavericks, and the Utah Jazz in the loss column. So they were the number 9 spot. If they won that game, it would have kept their playoff hopes in terms of at least being in the play-in picture. It would have kept that alive, but it wouldn't have really had an effect on the New York Knicks, because the Knicks right now, as we speak, are the number 6 seed in the Eastern Conference. So they played that game. It was a tough game. Kind of got pretty silly towards the end of the game when they were trying to foul the Knicks, but ultimately they ended up losing that game by 4 points, 108 to 112. And after the game, in a post-game interview, you saw a visibly frustrated Anthony Davis after the Lakers dropped that game. But before we get into his comments, this video is brought to you by sponsor Aura, who's also the official sponsor of the T-Wolves. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards, only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do is we want to play exactly what Anthony Davis had to say in the post-game interview, and then we're going to come back and unpack this thing. Take a listen to what AD had to say there.
What changed out there tonight? My play. I mean, I played terrible. Couldn't find the shot. Free throws, layups, everything. The guys did their job. I didn't do my job tonight.
Does this game change anything or change the way you feel about all the feelings that you guys have and the momentum you guys have been able to build in this past week?
No, I mean, it's one game. I mean, we've been playing great basketball. Get to go on the road and, get back at it. But, no, this doesn't change anything for me.
Okay, we've heard you in the past take the onus on games. Why this one? Where did you see that you thought you could have done better to help the team?
Everything. They had a good presence defensively. Offensively, I wasn't there. Like I say, free throws, layups, the handle, shots, it's everything offensively. I say guys played well tonight, did their job. Dennis, D'Lo, Austin, William, really all these guys did more than enough to help win the game. I didn't do my part.
You were on a tear coming out of the break. Did you think that anything Memphis did, the Knicks tried to replicate defensively against you?
Memphis?
Toronto.
Oh, excuse me, Toronto. Thank you. Toronto.
No. No. I just missed a lot of shots. I don't think they did anything special. A lot of times one-on-one. They doubled a couple times, but I don't think it was anything that carried over from Toronto game.
What do you think it'll take to bounce back? What do you think it'll take to bounce back?
That's for me.
Oh, for you.
Next game. I mean, worry about it tonight, tomorrow, and then get ready to suit up Tuesday.
How critical are these games? Are these losses if we're winding down to a few games remaining?
What? You already know every game is critical.
So you heard Anthony Davis's comments. He was very, very very hard on himself. He finished the game with 17 points. He only had one turnover. He had 2 steals, 4 assists, 16 rebounds. That was pretty big. But he was only 1 of 5 from the free throw line, which is not good. And the major issue is that he shot 44% from the field, going 8 of 18. Right? So that's the issue there. And that's why I believe that AD was saying that it's on him, because the game before he played like a monster. And I think the Lakers were actually on a winning streak before that game that they dropped. I think they had won, if I'm not mistaken, 2 or 3 games in a row, or I think it was 2 games in a row, and then they dropped that game. So now that they've dropped that game, the Lakers find themselves as the number 11 seed in the West. So that was a pretty bad loss in terms of standing, right? Even though AD didn't play well, the Lakers still kept the game pretty competitive. They only lost by 4 points. It wasn't like as if they lost by 15 points. They lost a pretty close game. But after watching how visibly distraught and frustrated Anthony Davis was after the end of the game, you could tell that he's really bothered by what is going on, that losing is just something that he seems to be fed up with losing, right? He seems to be fed up with losing. And I saw some images of LeBron, who was not in the cast. He was actually dribbling the ball, did a layup on the court. It looks like he's rehabilitating and he's getting back, but they're going to need him. They're going to need all the firepower if they want to keep their playoff, if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive, because right now it's going down to the wire. If we look at their schedule, they got some pretty interesting teams that I believe that they could possibly beat. I believe they're playing the New Orleans Pelicans on Wednesday, and then they're going to be playing the Houston Rockets on Thursday. So I think the Lakers should be able to get those 2 games to keep their playoff hopes alive. But it's going to be a tight race all the way to the end. And I have a feeling that they will make it. Because if they don't make it, man, it's just going to be a whole bunch of headlines and a lot of disappointed Laker fans. So what I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about AD's admission by basically putting that entire loss on him? Because I don't really think it's all on him. But whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comment section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.